Dog's home. I thought, well, I'll keep her company. So I said to the fella, have you got a blind dog? He said, you mean a guide dog? I said, oh, no, if it sees her, it'll tear her fucking throat out. Anyway, Christmas morning, oh, it was the weather was abominable, you know, dreadful. And I was in the kitchen just knocking up a few puddings. And, or were they knocking me up? I can't remember now. But the doorbell went, so I thought, oh, fuck, she did. So I went to the door, you know, and I said, don't stand there in the pouring rain. Fuck off. Yes. But she didn't. No, unfortunately. And, she was all right, you know, Christmas Day we had a lovely dinner, and afterwards we were in the kitchen. I was washing up and she was drying. And she said to me, out of the blue, she said, I've always hated you. Oh, I said, the feeling is mutual. She said, you know, when I die and they bury me, I shall scratch and crawl my way up from the grave, and I shall haunt you for the rest of your life. She died last week. I buried her face down. I thought, dig your fucking way out of that, mate. Yes. Like an old tart. And and talking about that last week, we had somebody passed away just down the road from me, you know. It's a shame, you know. No, nobody you know, dear. And if you had done, they'd have passed away quicker. But no, the funeral went past my house, you see. I happened to be in the front garden doing a bit of gardening, you know. I was cross-pollinating some pansies with a red-hot poker. And, as you do. And all of a sudden, this funeral procession went by. And I thank you. And I said, now we get the music. And and it went by. So I said to my next door neighbour, who happened to be outside as well, it was a big funeral. And as we looked, the fella walking in front, he'd only got like a waistcoat on the top. And apart from that, he got nothing on. And he was tattooed all over. I've never seen so many fucking tattoos. So, but the trouble was, he caught me looking at him. So I had to say something. I said, oh, lovely funeral. He said, yes. I said, somebody close? He said, it's the wife. Oh, I'm ever so sorry. I said, did she die, you know, sort of sudden? He said, she died of VD. I said, oh, I said, nobody dies of VD these days. He said, they fucking do if they give it to me. Yes, oh. Well, sing a song, sing out loud, sing out strong, sing of the good times, not bad, sing of the happy, not sad. So sing a song, make it simple to last your whole life long. Don't worry if it's not good enough for anyone else to hear. So sing a song. Bank thing, sing a song, sing out loud, sing out strong, sing of the good times, not bad, sing of the happy, not sad. So sing a song, make make it simple to last your whole life long. Don't worry if it's not good enough for anyone else to hear. So sing a song, sing a song. Thank you. You put it in the wrong hole. Oh, how terrible. We haven't done 20 minutes yet, have we? Because it's the new cabaret time, 20 minutes. It's funny enough, one of the customers, ever so sweet, that comes in to see me all the time, and he said, you know, I've been having a bit of problems sexually just lately, Phyllis. You got any ideas? I said, have you tried that Viagra? So he said, no. He said, I've heard about that Viagra. He said, but I never know what. I said, well, they sell it in little blue tablets, evidently. And you take one, you see, and an hour later, you see, you get this erection like you've never had before. Knock your hat off. So he said, really? He said, can you get it over the counter? I said, oh, you have to take 2 for that. And and I said, I'll tell you what, something, you know, perhaps, you know, people have all different difficulties, don't they? And, I mean, I knew a fella once, he came up to me, because they always ask drag acts for advice, I don't know why, as if I'd had the experience. I hope I do have, when I get to 35, and, fuck off. And I said, well, what trouble are you having? He said, I'm suffering from premature ejaculation. I thought it was a foreign disease, you know. So I said, oh, no, I've heard about that. I said, my brother, funny enough, he suffered with that years ago. I said, whenever he went with his wife, he could never hold it for more than 2 minutes, and she was getting fed up with it. So a friend of his said to him, I'll tell you what to do. He said, this might work, might not. Buy yourself a starting pistol. He said, what the fuck do I do with that? He said, well, when you start having intercourse, he said, if you feel you can't last another minute, fire the fucking pistol. He said, it'll shock you. And he said, you'll keep it up for another 10 or 15 minutes. He said, I'll have a go at that, this fella, you see. So anyway, he bought this starting pistol. That night, his girlfriend phoned him up. She said, you coming round? He said, yes. So he thought, I'm taking that fucking pistol with me. So unbeknownst to her, he stuck it under the pillow on the bed. So they got on the bed and she said, I was thinking to myself, with your problem, do you fancy doing something different? So he said, such as what? She said, shall we do it the French way? Sois-on neuf. Tops and tails. Oh, he said, I'll have a go at that, you know. So anyway, they started, well, he couldn't, he thought, I'm never going to last, never last. So he put his hand very gently underneath the pillow and he fired this fucking pistol. Well, she shit all over him. And a fella came out the wardrobe with his hands up. Yes, it's true. It's terrible, isn't it? But I've pepped up my love life for 2005, yes. I've bought a mirror for the bedroom, yes. I've not put it on the ceiling. I hold it under his nose, make sure he's still breathing. Yes. And of course, and I said, we've also had a bereavement in the street, or when was it? Last Wednesday. Mind you, he was 94, this fella, so it wasn't unexpected. But the only thing was they're a very poor family. Oh, they're much poorer than that, you know. And, yeah, but yes. Yes, she's not fucking poor, dear. Holidays in Blackpool, you just arrived back, haven't you? A week you had, did you, darling? Yes. Well, it always has been for a long time, hasn't it? You know. But no, this point he was 90. I could pot calling the kettle black there. He was. I should do this gag in a minute. He was over 90. You see, I've told you that, haven't I? And make sure you know he's over 90, won't you? And being a very poor family, you see, his daughter said to me, I feel ever so sorry about my poor old dad. She said, he's always wanted to be buried in a black suit. She said, and he's only got a blue one. She said, no, I can't afford to buy him the black suit. Oh, I said, a shame. I said, he'll never know, she said, but I feel it, you know. Anyway, 2 days before he was due to get buried, she had a phone call from the funeral parlour. And the funeral director said, would you like to come round and have a last view of your father? She said, oh, yes, I would. So she went round there, and she said, as I looked in the coffin, she said, oh, my heart skipped a beat. She said, there he was laying so peaceful in a black suit. So she said to the funeral director, oh, how wonderful. She said, you didn't go to the expense of buying him a black suit, did you? He said, well, no. He said, another fella, same age and that was, came in at the same time. And he said, and the strange thing about it was, he had a black suit but wanted to be buried in a blue suit. Oh, how wonderful. So he said, we just switched the heads. You're my world, you're every breath I take. You're my world, you're every move I make. Other eyes see the stars up in the sky, but for me they shine within your eyes as the trees reach for the sun above. So my arms reach out to you for love. With your hand resting in mine, I feel a power so divine. You're my world, you are my night and day. You're my world, you're every breath I take. If love ceases to be, then it's the end of my world for me. Num, 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 num. With your hand resting in mine, I feel a power so divine. You're my world, you are my night and day. You're my night, you're every prayer I pray. If our love ceases to be, then it's the end of my world, end of my world, end of my world for me. I've had a couple of requests tonight, one that I can do and one which is virtually impossible. But, you know me, I'll try anything. But, lady down the road from me, she had a baby over the Christmas. Oh, what a time to have it, you know, so she couldn't celebrate Christmas. But she was in the hospital and the doctor was helping her deliver this baby. And he said, push as hard as you can, Elsie, you know. And she said, oh, she's suffering there. And all of a sudden the head came out and it was black. So he said, have you been with a black fella? She said, oh, only once. So he said, well, that's all it takes, doesn't it? And then the arms and the shoulders came out and they were yellow. So he said, you've been with a Chinese fella as well? She said, oh, only once. So he said, oh, I see. And the legs came out and the rest of it came out and they were a sort of coffee colour. So he said, have you been with a Pakistani? She said, oh, only once. And then he slapped the baby and it screamed its head off. He said, well, at least it didn't bark, did it? Tasteful gags for the new year, aren't they? And one of my friends, a little boy came home from school, 13 years old, and he bought this note from the teacher, all sealed in an envelope, And he said, the teacher sent this home for you. So she said, oh, she said, I suppose you've got a good report. She said, what lessons have you been having? He said, we've been having sex education. Well, she hope it's got nothing to do with that. So she opened the envelope. Oh, she went crimson. She said, you've been wanking in the class. You dirty little beast. Should you get yourself upstairs to your bedroom? Wait till your father comes in, he'll have a word with you. So when the old man came in, she said, you better go upstairs and have a word with him. He said, why? She said, he's been wanking in the classroom. Oh, he said, I've got him to see him. So he went up to the bed and he tiptoed up and he opened the bedroom door. There's the little boy laid on the bed, polishing it 90 to the dozen. Well, hey, you know. So he just closed the door and went back downstairs again. She said, did you have a word with him? He said, not right now, he's doing his own work. Come on and hear, Alexander's Ragtime Band. Come on and hear, it's the best band in the land. They can play a bugle call like you never heard before, so natural that you want to go to war. It's just the bestest band that I, my honey lamb. Come on along, and let me take you by the hand. Up to the man, who's the leader of the band. And if you care to hear that Swanee River laid in a ragtime, come on and hear Alexander's Ragtime Band. Come on and hear Alexander's Ragtime Band. Come on and hear, it's the best band in the land. They can play a bugle call like you never heard before, so natural that you want to go to war. It's just the bestest band that I have. My honey lamb, come on along, and let me take you by the hand. Up to the man, who's the leader of the band. And if you care to hear that Swanee River laid in a ragtime, come on along, Alexander's Ragtime Band. Now, you know, ladies and gentlemen, I never like to take somebody's reputation away from them. But, of course, we do have that lovely lady that lives in Brighton. I hope she's not in tonight, actually, because she does come in occasionally. The lovely Jordan, you know, the model Jordan with the blown-up boobs, you know. She's a lovely lady. She really is. And I did hear this Christmas that Peter Andre, the singer, is going to marry her. Isn't that nice? Oh, I hope somebody's told him a dog is not just for Christmas. Yes. And of course, she's just written a new book. Did you hear about that? It's about all the men she's been with. It's called The Yellow Pages. Yes. And I was watching telly. There's fuck all on that television lately, is there? Oh, there was less shit on Noah's Ark, wasn't there? And now, I was listening the other day on one of these programs from America, and it was saying how long they have to wait, the prisoners wait, on death row. They've obviously never waited in our post office queues, have they? And there was a program on Michael Jackson. Oh, what has that fella done to himself? Oh, what a state, you know. Oh, no, I think to myself when I look at him, you know. But it said he was 45 the other week. It seems like only yesterday he was playing with 10-year-olds, doesn't it? You know, time flies. And, no, do you remember when the police were looking for him, you know? They arrested Diana Ross 3 times, didn't they? Yes. And one of my friends, she comes from like one of the eastern countries. I'm not sure which one she comes from, but talking to her the other day, and I said, your boy's getting big now. She said, he's 18. I said, 18. I said, what's he going to be? She said, he's training to be a suicide bomber. Oh, I said, it's surprising how quick they blow up, isn't it? Yes, it's... What do you want, fucking Shakespeare? Don't say yes. Yes. Otherwise I'll have to do the Three Witches and the Cauldron, you know. Mixing up a brew. We've got... It might have been cold there in my shadow to never have sunlight on your face. You've been content to let me shine. You always walked the step behind. Now I was the one with all the glory, while you were the one with all the strength. Only a face without a name. I never once heard you complain. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I'd like to be. I can fly higher than an eagle, 'cause you are the wind beneath my wings. It might have appeared to go unnoticed that I have it all here in my heart. I want you to know I know the truth, that I would be nothing without you. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I'd like to be. I can fly higher than an eagle, 'cause you are the wind beneath my wings. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I'd like to be. I can fly higher than an eagle, 'cause you are the wind beneath my wings. Thank you very much, how kind, music lovers. And... oh, what, darling? My voice has gone deep. I've got a bit of a cold, actually. Yeah, yes, somebody... I think Vicar's going to rub my chest in later, he said. And... yes, what, darling? That it could have been in a higher key. Yes, that's true, yes. So... but anyway, it's... now, I always get requests to start off the year with, and we've got a lot of people in tonight. I know Beryl said it's not very busy tonight, but, you know... there's still room on the ceiling, and but this is a little sequence I've done an awful lot of times, but I always like to do what people ask me to do, so bear with me on this one. And it's only really because our friend Ricky has just come from Blackpool. Have you ever, while you've been to Blackpool, walked down the front, have you ever been into those fortune tellers? You never have. You've passed them, yes. I thought so, yes. She told me one of them. Gypsy Petrolengo said, I hope she fucking don't come in here, you know. But this is... I went into one day, you know, and I'd like to tell you about this particular gypsy, you know. In a quaint caravan, there's a lady they call the gypsy. She can look in the future and drive away all your fears. Everything will come right if you only believe the gypsy. She could tell at a glance that my heart was so full of tears. She looked in my hand and told me my lover was always true. And yet in my heart I knew, dear, somebody else was kissing you. But I'll go there again, 'cause I want to believe the gypsy, that my lover is true and will come back to me someday. Do you know, as I walked in to see that gypsy, she looked in her crystal ball and she said, Phil, you're going to be unlucky until you're 40 and then you'll get used to it. And she wasn't far wrong. Do you know, when my ship came in, I was at the airport. It's one of those things, isn't it, you know? And isn't it awful when you get depressed and that? And somebody said to me, why don't you join a suicide club? I was the only one there. Yeah, strange thing. And now you get so depressed, don't you, you know? And they said, why don't you ring up one of those dating agencies, find yourself a handsome-looking fella? So I thought it's worth a try, isn't it? So I rang, yes, I know. So I rang up the number. And the woman was ever so nice. She said, what are you looking for? I said, about 28 years old, tall, dark and handsome, preferably a football thrower from Luton. And must have a good job to keep me in the manner of which I've become accustomed. So she said, what are your details? Now, you've got to speak the truth, haven't you? So I said, well, I shall never see 25 again. Not even from a distance. I said, but, you know, you've got to speak the truth. So I said, but I'm 36, 24, 36, and extremely attractive. Well, you've got to speak the truth, you see. Fuck off. And, well, 3 days later, the phone went. And I thought, oh. At first, I thought it was an obscene phone call, you know. But it wasn't. She said, we found the fella you're looking for. Oh, I said, how wonderful. She said, he wants to see you tonight in Trafalgar Square. He'll have a white gardenia in his buttonhole. I couldn't wait. Oh, I'd washed my hair. I thought, fuck drying it, dear. I rushed there. And I got into Trafalgar Square and a pigeon shit on me head. I thought, oh, it's a bit of luck, you know. And I spotted him sat by the fountain. White gardenia. Oh, I went, my heart was pounding. And I went over, I said, excuse me, I said, are you Simon? He said, are you Phyllis? I said, yes. He said, I'm not Simon. She looked at my hand and told me my lover was always true. And yet in my heart I knew, dear, somebody else was kissing you. I'll go there again, 'cause I want to believe the gypsy, that my lover is true and will come back to me someday. Have you... I don't know if any of you are sort of going away soon, travelling to foreign parts. But I know, boys and girls, I know we're all a bit sort of worried about travelling these days, aren't we, you know? And getting on now, you know... What, darling? Well, after the earthquake, but you just don't go to those parts, do you? You see, it's no good you going, no. Pardon? I'm going to Thailand, but not to that part, darling, you see. No. If I had been, I'd have taken you with me. But, it's, yes. It's, Now, I tell you a little tip what I do when I board these airliners, because I'm a bit worried about flying. You know, I must admit I feel that sort of flutter when I go. But I always start singing the Iraqi national anthem. Yes, if anybody joins in, I'll fuck off that plane quick, you know. But, of course, they say that flying is the safest way of travelling, which I suppose it is when you come to think of it. But, you know, years ago, I think in the early 60s, we had one of our British Airways went down, unfortunately, into the sea. It crashed in the sea. But the worst part about it was shark-infested waters. Oh, isn't that frightening? These fucking sharks circled round this plane. They ate the pilot and the co-pilots, stewards, stewardesses, and they ate 250 passengers. And, you know, they left the food. The last time I flew out to the Canary Islands with my lovely friend Maisie Trollet, who you might have heard of in passing, and, she's fine. As we got on the plane, she's a dizzy cow, you know. I said, would you like to sit near the window? She said, I won't bother, I've just had my hair done. And I ate all those... I wish they wouldn't do those messages, you know, first aid things, you know, and telling you when it drops from the ceiling, you get oxygen and fuck knows what, you know. But sure, I try not and listen, you know. And the stewardess kept looking at me because I wasn't looking, you know. And she was glaring at me. And she said, oh, looking straight at me then. She said, if you feel sick, use the bag in the seat in front. I never even knew the woman. Well, she came down that plane. She was big. She was big. She came down there like an egg on wheels, you know. And she stopped by me. She said, have you got a fucking problem? I said, no, but if you lost a bit of fucking weight, I'd put a bit more luggage up there, couldn't I? Like an old tart. We call this next number Beryl's number. Yes. Once in a lifetime, a man knows a moment, one wonderful moment, when fate takes his hand. And this is my moment, my destiny calls me, when I can explore a new and exciting land. Once in a lifetime, I feel like a giant, I soar like an eagle, as though I had wings. And this is my moment, my once in a lifetime. I'm gonna do great things. In a lifetime, a man knows a moment, one wonderful moment, when fate takes his hand. And this is my moment, my destiny calls me, when I can explore a new and exciting land. Once in a lifetime, I feel like a giant, I soar like an eagle, as though I had wings. And this is my moment, my once in a lifetime. I'm gonna do Thank you very much. By the way, while you've got your hands together, how about a lovely round of applause for a lovely rendition from Mr. John Bruzon here behind me. If he gets better, we might keep him, mightn't we? Do you think? Yes. Part of the institution, aren't you, love, now? Part of the... Yes, well... What would Brighton do without you, dear, eh? There you are. He is available, by the way. Yes, he's unattached, aren't you, dear? Unattached, yes, at the moment. Yeah, but form an orderly queue outside. You'd be amazed if there was a queue out there, wouldn't you, dear? Yes. Oh. It's... But anyway, I do hope you all have a wonderful year this year. 2005. Doesn't seem possible, does it? You know, I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was saying how time flies. You know, she said, I know. She said, they've got the cards and all the crackers out of Tesco's now, and the Easter eggs are in, and it is, isn't it? Yeah, it'll soon be Easter, and of course that's because we seem to forget that Christmas and Easter are really quite, they're solemn times, really. They're religious, aren't they? And we celebrate, well, we don't know what we're celebrating, do we, half of us? I mean, can you imagine all those years ago, and when he was in the stable, wasn't he? Fancy picking on a stable. I mean, because they were so poor, weren't they? Got fuck all money, they hadn't. He was on the dole, wasn't he? What was his name, Joseph? Joseph, yes, he was on the national handbag. Yes, Brighton Council were paying for that stable, Yes, and they were ever so pleased because the three wise men were outside. Of course, they had gold, frankincense, and myrrh, didn't they? Whatever the fucking hell that is, I don't know. But the first wise man walked into the stable and unfortunately trod on a rake. And it came back and fucking hit him straight in the face. He said, fucking hell, Jesus Christ. They said, oh, what a lovely name. We were going to call him Albert. So, yes, I thought to myself, in the new year, I thought we're going to have a new finishing number, Yes, I thought... Cast off all the old numbers and we'll do a new number to finish with. And then I thought, fuck it, why should I? Yes. Funny how a lonely day can make a person say, what good is my life? Funny how anything hot can make me start to say, what good is my life? Funny how I often seem to think I'll find another dream in my life, till I look around and see this great big one is part of me and my life. This is my life. Today, tomorrow, love will come and find me, for that's the way that I was born to be. Well, this is me. This is me. This is my life, and I don't give a damn for lost emotion. I've got a lot of love I've got to give. Well, let me live. Let me live. Sometimes when I'm afraid, I think of what a mess I made of my life. Crying over my mistakes, forgetting all the breaks I've had in my life. For I was put on earth to be a part of this great world is me and my life. Guess I'll just add up the score, count the things I'm grateful for in my life. This is my life. Today, tomorrow, love will come and find me. Oh, that's the way that I was born to be. Well, this is me. This is me. This is my life, and I don't give a ever lost emotion. I've got a lot of love I've got to give. Well, let me live, let me live. This is my life. This is my life. This is my life.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Keep that applause going, please, for your cabaret. The fabulous Mr. Phil Starr and Mr. John Bruzon on the keyboards. Would you like one more? Make some noise then, please.
Who's an old ower? You might be right. Yes, why not? It's a nice number to finish on, that, isn't it? It's a nice way of saying fuck off, really, isn't it? Yes. Put in more delicate terms, this is. Yes. I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places that my heart and mind embraces all day through. In that small cafe, the park across the way, the children's carousel, the chestnut tree, the wishing well. I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's bright and gay. I always think of you that way. I'll find you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you. Yes, we're here again very shortly, I think. We're here about once a month, I think, right through 2005. All being well, and we should be presenting, of course, SOS. Same old shit. Just never mind. So I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's bright and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I'll find you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you.
There you go, ladies and the fabulous Mr. Phil Starr and Mr. John Bruzon on the keyboards. Mr. Phil Starr, ladies and gentlemen. And it's your very last orders at the bar now, please. Very last orders at the bar. Don't forget, tomorrow afternoon at 5:30, we have the fabulous Lola Lasagna in Cabaret. That's at 5:30 tomorrow.